Hello and welcome to another video, and in today's video I want to talk about how you can save money on a low income. So without further ado, let's get into it. Firstly, you want to create a simple budget in which you separate your life in 6 categories and then allocate a percent of your income to those 6 categories. For example, I have 6 accounts and one of them is called emergencies, investments, debts, expenses, fun money, and charity. Now, if you do the following and if you follow this budget exactly as I'm telling you, you will be able to have money for all these 6 categories and still have money to have fun and do whatever you want to do. So, how does this budget work? First of all, you need to write down how much is your monthly income on a piece of paper, then write down all your expenses. The best way to track this is to keep a journal of everything you are spending on in the upcoming week. Keep all the receipts and check your bank statements to work out how much you spend in a week and in a month. Once you have it written on paper, it helps you to be organized. Now, get yourself 6 envelopes to actually start saving your money into. Reason why it's envelopes and not bank accounts is because for the first month, you have to build the habits of putting cash away into envelopes for a specific reason. You want to have a tangible place to actually put all your money, because you might have your money in the bank, but say you are out shopping and see something you like, you then use your card to buy it because it's just digits on a screen. While cash in our hands is hard to let go, then money from our banks is, because those are just digits. Also, you are most likely not going to carry the envelopes with you, so you will not have the chance to be reckless with your money. So by having everything in one tangible place where you cannot have easy access to it when shopping, so for example, for you to take that money, you will have to open the envelope labeled emergency and then take money out for something you know that isn't an emergency but a uncontrollable urge to buy, which will make you feel guilty, or at least I hope it does. The budget is broken down into 6 different categories, and the reason it is broken down in 6 categories is because your financial life is really only made out of 6 categories. Now, here is the exact order your money should be going into these 6 envelopes. Every time you get paid your income, the first envelope to put money into is the envelope labeled as emergencies. The second envelope is labeled as investments. Third one is labeled debts. Fourth labeled expenses. Fifth envelope is labeled as fun. And the last envelope is labeled as charity. And do put some money into these envelopes in exactly that order. So, how much money to put into these envelopes every single time you get paid? So for the first envelope, the emergencies envelope, every time you get paid, you want to put no less than 10% of your weekly wage into that envelope. So say you make £10 a week, you put in £1. If you make £100 a week, you put in £10. It doesn't matter how much you earn, you put in 10% of all your weekly income. I understand you might get paid every month or every 2 weeks, but the rule still applies. You want to build up 6 months worth of money in the emergency envelope to cover you for when you need money for actual emergencies. For example, say if you were to lose your job and you can't pay rent, then you need to have at least 6 months of all your expenses in one envelope. Now, once you get comfortable doing this and gain money control, you can move into opening up a separate high yield savings account and put your money into that account and have your money sitting there waiting to be used just in case an emergency does happen, all while not losing any money to inflation, because every single year inflation hits like a brick and you're losing money just by saving money in an envelope. But you need to build the entire routine and habit first before you start putting your money away in a bank account. Now, the second account is the investments envelope, which is the most exciting envelope. This category is for the sole purpose of investing all your money and it's all about making more money. In this envelope, you want to put anywhere from 10% to 50% of your income towards it, up to really how much you can. So this part is all down to you. It's really how much you can and you want to. I recommend that you do 3 things with this account. You start building business income, passive income, and also long-term income. So for example, set aside some money to invest into your side business if you have any, or set aside money to put into your future business that you are wanting to start. And if you have no desire to start any type of business, then that's fine. Just move on to number 2, which is investing money into the stock market via index funds. And I have a whole video on ISAs and index funds if you want to learn more, so check them out. Lastly, for long-term investments, start saving money first in an envelope to develop the habit, and then into a high-yielding savings account for a down payment on a house. Get yourself into the real estate game. Now, I recommend investing into books and watching YouTube videos, because that's what I did. I didn't buy books. I got myself a library card and just went crazy reading on every type of book, self-improvement, finance, you name it. I did it. And then I implemented it, and now I'm here making videos of how I used everything that I learned to change my life around. So once you gain the knowledge, you can put that into work and you can turn your life around as well. But if you don't have the knowledge, then you have no idea what you are doing. So you need to get the knowledge first. Now, the third envelope is debts. Most of the people in Western countries such as America and the United Kingdom and Australia, just to name a few, have problems with debts, and around 74% Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And I would assume it's the same for other Western developed nations with a consumer mindset. So if you have debts, I suggest that you put anywhere from 10% to 50%, depending on your situation, into this category. You want to pay off your debts as quickly as possible, so you won't have to pay a ton of interest on it, and it will give you peace of mind. Your goal with this account is to get it to 0. And if you guys have substantial amounts of bad debts, so debts such as credit cards, car loans, or anything that isn't making you money but costing you money, then I would suggest to put this category second behind your emergency funds and ahead of your investments. Also, depending on what your debt is, look to see if there's a way you can pay off the debt. So say you have a car loan from the bank and you're struggling to pay it, then just sell the car and pay off the loan. Don't overreach yourself. The fourth category where everybody struggles is expenses. So your food bill, utility bill, car payment, and any other expenses. The key here I have found is not to scrimp on food. Most people seem to scrimp on food, buying cheap, low quality processed food, yet have a luxury car. Your priorities are completely wrong. Get rid of the car and get yourself a second-hand car that you can afford, and put money towards your food so you can eat well. For internet and utility bills, shop around to get the cheapest rate possible. Turn off lights when you are not using them. You might think that's not doing much, but trust me, it all adds up. Cut out your subscription to everything that you are not using. So if you're not using the gym, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Sky TV, Spotify, anything that you are not using that's subscription based, get rid of that and cancel that. You're just draining money at this point. Be on top of your expenses, or your expenses will be on top of you. The goal is to get expenses down to only 5% to 10% of your income. The fifth category is the most exciting category, and that's your fun category. And my honest opinion is, if your income is relatively low, I would dedicate only 5% to 10% of your income towards this. And as you work your way up and your income increases and you're able to keep expenses low, then you can have more disposable income to increase the percentage towards this category. Use money from this envelope wisely. So fun can be anything from buying a video game, going out with friends, going on dates, subscribing to my channel, but some others will give you way more bang for your buck, like subscribing to my channel. As mentioned before, Netflix and all the subscription streaming sites will not give much of a return for your investment, even if it's £10 a month. The better option is to use that £10 to go out with your friends and spend it on food and have a good experience with your friends or family. It's better than watching some random TV show. So if you're struggling on a low income, prioritize days out than days in sitting on the sofa watching TV, and you don't have to go spend money. You can do a lot of free things or things that are very cheap. Now, the sixth and final category is the charity envelope. No one has ever gone broke by giving money away to people that are in need. And if someone has, then well, that says more about them. For this category, it's advisable to give away anywhere between 1% to, honestly, however much you realistically can and actually want to. But if you can manage, then 1% is the minimum. I know some people literally cannot, and that's fine, but for people that can, then it will not only make you feel warm and good by giving even 1% of your income, it also detaches you from money, meaning you aren't scared to spend it on others with nothing in return, which can be very fruitful for you once you have that detachment, are able to invest a lot of money into investments. So that was the video. Hope it was helpful. If it was, then subscribe, give it a like, and let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, and take care.